Today's news highlights: House of Representatives convenes February 17 to review Electoral Bill 2027 election timetable. United Nations urges Nigeria to spearhead Africa's quest for a restructured global order. Plus, Nigerian Customs Service NDLEA for its stronger alliance in semi-seizure. Good afternoon, my name is Ebere Indanyu. Welcome to the News at 3 today on Rstv. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can also subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. And now the news. The Permanent Secretary, Rivers State Ministry of Special Duties, Dr. Dabite George, has charged firemen to keep updating and improving themselves to enable them fight fire effectively. Dr. George gave the charge at the end of a 5-day fire appliance operation training organized for newly employed drivers into the State Fire Service at the service's headquarters in Port Harcourt. Melvin Jackson was there and filed in this report.
The Permanent Secretary remarked that the state government has put machineries in place to combat fire, hence the employment and training of drivers who will mount the firefighting vehicles purchased by Governor Siminalayi Fubara to quell any fire hazard in the state. Dr. George, who enjoined the general public to always switch off electrical appliances when not in use to avoid fire incidents, also advised trainees to be serious in the discharge of their duties to actualize the dreams of the state government.
The governor, as by his directive, you'll be trained, and there will be more training so that you'll be more effective and efficient in your duty. And my advice again to you is that please do not take this for granted, because when you leave service, this skill you've learned today can also go on. You can use it in other places. If you retire as fireman and you're still strong, you can be employed. You can also educate other people. Please put in mind that whatever you're taught is not in vain, and you keep practicing it so that you can be at the top.
Trainers Golden Elenga and Joseph Audun praised the Permanent Secretary for bringing the training to bear. Also advised trainees to put the knowledge and skills acquired to use in the future. The excited trainees thanked the ministry for the gesture and promised to put in more effort to carry out their duties diligently and responsibly.
I learned the basic firefighting procedures and the operation of the appliances, and the training has taught me a lot on basic qualities of firefighting as a firefighter.
My experience has been very, very wonderful. You can see the joy in me. I was part of the people that did it. What we have learned will be part of us till death, and then we know that we are going to deliver on our mandate. We love humanitarian services, and this is part of it. That's why we are all happy. You can see all of us, we have bright faces.
Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary has warned workers at the State Secretariat currently undergoing repairs to always switch off electrical appliances and maintain such appliances to forestall fire outbreaks that could harm workers. He gave the warning during an on-the-spot witness to a fire outbreak at the Block A axis of the State Secretariat in Port Harcourt.
Even reverse, the governor is working. You can see the entire Secretariat complex is a construction site. They are doing massive renovation works, and workers have been asked to evacuate so they can speed up the process of renovation, and that is what is going on now. They have to be safety conscious. That is number one. Safety conscious, and ensure that they do their job according to safety prescriptions, so we wouldn't have to come back for this again.
Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
The Permanent Secretary, Rivers State Ministry of Special Duties, Dr. Dabite George, has charged firemen to keep updating and improving themselves. Management of Rivers State Television has sent forth the Director Administration of the station, Nduaje, who retired on 14th February 2026 from service after attaining the age of 60. Acting General Manager of the station, Ambassador Paul Dambo, wished him well in future endeavors. Gaspar Nele reports that all principal officers of the station attended the ceremony.
Happy birthday to to you.
Ambassador Dambo, who described Ajay as a committed civil servant who displayed great passion in the discharge of his duties, said retirement is not a death sentence, but a springboard of lifting people to greater opportunity in life endeavors. The acting general manager advised Indo Ajay to explore other ways of creativity to better himself and the society by using his wealth of experience and exposure. According to him, there is need for an active civil servant to be celebrated on the day of retirement by his immediate organization as a symbol of love, honor, and encouragement, while wishing him God's protection, good health, and longevity.
God has kept us alive. So I want to encourage you to wherever you're going, to always keep your conscience close to God. Listen to God. God is the one that directs. He says, go here, go. But I believe you, as a young, vibrant man, you still have a lot of opportunities there, which you will be exploring. I thank you. I wish you well in your next phase of life.
Responding, the outgoing head of administration of the station, Indo Ajay, whose birthday coincided with his day of retirement, which is the Lover's Day, explained that his life profile cannot be complete without Rivers State Television, noting that he started and ended in the administrative division. He thanked God for sparing his life all through the service in good health and lots of achievements, promising to contribute meaningfully to Rivers State Television despite his retirement. The senior citizen, however, advised staff of Rivers State Television to be united, show love to one another, and eschew violence to excel in their profession.
I started my journey in admin, and I'm also ending it in admin. Amazing experience working with the staff of Rstv. I'm so happy living in good health and in sound mind.
Some management staff extolled the qualities of Indo Ajay.
Acquainting to me the number of persons I've worked in the past. He has worked under 6 to 7 general managers, and within those periods he worked with them, he really did something remarkable. So we're really going to miss him. I'm wishing him a long life, prosperity, and also the life to see is great.
Surely miss him. In character, we will miss him. I've never seen him quarrel with anybody. He might be angry, but he hardly shows it.
God's Power Anele, Rstv News.
The House of Representatives will reconvene on February 17, 2026 for an emergency sitting to consider matter arising from the Electoral Act Amendment Bill following the release of the 2027 general election timetable by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. According to a statement by the House spokesman, Akin Rotimi, the decision was conveyed to lawmakers in an internal memorandum issued by the Office of the Speaker. Rotimi said the emergency sitting reflects the resolve of the House to respond promptly to issues with far-reaching implications for the nation's democratic process. The emergency sitting comes amid renewed legislative efforts to amend the Electoral Act ahead of the 2027 general elections, while the Senate and the House of Representatives had previously considered separate versions of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Following the passage of the bill in different forms by the two chambers, conference committees were constituted to harmonize areas of disagreement in line with parliamentary procedure. The Tuesday emergency sitting is expected to focus on ensuring that the legal framework governing the 2027 elections is settled in good time, in line with constitutional requirements and democratic best practices. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. And now, after the break, Guinea-Bissau opposition leader faces military court over coup plot allegations. And in sports, FIFA to rule on Nigeria's 2026 World Cup petitions against the DR Congo. Details of this and more will come your way when we return from the break. Just stay with us.
Rstv, your source for authentic coverage. View us on YouTube Rstv Online, Facebook, and GoTV at channel 142.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has urged Nigeria to spearhead Africa's quest for a restructured global order. Guterres made the call during a high-level bilateral meeting with Vice President Kashim Shettima on the sidelines of the ongoing 39th African Union AU Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The meeting focused on strengthening Nigeria-UN collaboration in advancing global economic growth, peace and security, sustainable development, and coordinated humanitarian response across Africa. The UN chief described Nigeria as uniquely positioned to lead the continent towards superpower status. Guterres said Nigeria's large population, sustained democratic governance, vast natural and human resources, and long-standing commitment to multilateralism place it in a unique position to lead Africa in the evolving global order. The Vice President Shettima, while thanking the UN Secretary General for his leadership in promoting global peace, said Africa has benefited immensely from his tenure, even as the United Nations undergoes internal restructuring, and reiterated Nigeria's long-standing call for comprehensive reform of the United Nations system to reflect evolving global realities. Both leaders pledged to deepen cooperation, with Guterres reaffirming the UN support for Nigeria's reform agenda and its growing leadership role in advancing peace, security, and development across the African continent. The Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, John Eno, has stated that President Bola Tinubu administration will continue to push for the industrialization of the countries despite existing constraints. Speaking at a meeting with members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors in Lagos, the minister said the government was now insisting on policy before planning, arguing that clear vision and guiding principles must come ahead of detailed roadmaps. The minister referenced the Nigerian industrial policy, which he said will be officially unveiled at the State House in Abuja, February 17. He underscored the urgency of shifting the country's economy from dependence on raw materials export to value-added production. The minister highlighted the need to extend the 6-month ban on the export of shea nuts, noting that the demand for at least 30% of value addition on shea nuts before export is part of the drive to encourage local industries. The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS), in a significant victory against transnational drug trafficking, has handed over a massive haul of cocaine valued at 1 billion naira, an arrested suspect, and the vehicle used for conveyance to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLA) at FOU Lagos. The handover, conducted at the Federal Operations Zone A, showcased the fruit of vigilance, order, security, and seamless interagency collaboration. Controller General of Customs, Dr. Bashir Adeniyi, while detailing the operation, said eagle-eyed NCS officers intercepted a Toyota Highlander along the critical boundary Badagry semi-axis that was transporting 22 packages of a substance suspected to be cocaine, weighing approximately 25 kilograms. Represented by Deputy Controller General of Enforcement Timi Bomodi, CG Adeniyi emphasized the seizure's critical importance, stating that it was executed under the powers granted by Section 55, subsection 1C of the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023, which mandates the service to enforce prohibitions protecting public health, safety, and national security. Highlighting the crucial partnership with the NDLA, Adeniyi stressed that the action was in strict accordance with the NDLA Act and reinforced the existing Memorandum of Understanding MOU between the two agencies. And now from the foreign scene, Guinea-Bissau's main opposition leader, Domingos Samuel Pereira, has appeared before the military court facing allegations of involvement in multiple coup attempts. Pereira, leader of the historic PAIGC party that led the nation to independence in 1974, was summoned for questioning over his alleged role in at least two coup plots in the late 2023 and October 2025. Pereira was initially arrested during the November 2025 military coup that overthrew President Umaru Sissoco Embalo. He remains under house arrest, facing separate investigations under alleged financial crimes while being barred from public statements. The PAIGC's headquarters remains closed amid disputes over its flag, while critics note the irony of coup leaders investigating an opposition figure for coup plotting. And now in sports, FIFA is set to deliver a crucial ruling on Monday, February 16, regarding Nigeria's eligibility protest against DR Congo, with the Super Eagles' hopes of qualifying for the 2025 World Cup hanging in the balance. The Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) filed the normal complaint on December 15, 2025, alleging that 6 DR Congo players who featured in the November 2025 African Playoff Final were ineligible due to recent switches in international allegiance. The match ended in heartbreak for Nigeria as the Super Eagles lost 4-3 on penalties after a tense encounter, eliminating them from direct qualification and ending their campaign at that stage. Nigeria's qualification now rests entirely on the outcome of Monday's high-stakes FIFA meeting, with millions of fans and the entire Nigerian football community awaiting the verdict that could rewrite the Super Eagles World Cup story. The River State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. That is the news. My name is Iberi Ada. Thanks for being a part of it, and good afternoon.